Welcome today, everyone. Please start off by hitting where you're from in the group chat. Just a reminder, these meetings are a way of communicating with each other, so feel free to communicate during this meeting. And we'd love to hear from you guys and hear where all of you are from. Also, be sure to take out your notebooks to get ready to take some good notes for today's P7 training. We're just waiting for a few more other people to join. I'll give it about 2 or 3 minutes and then we will start today's sessions. Once again, thank you all for coming. Today we will be learning about communication. Welcome to the other person who just joined. I was just telling everyone to put in the group chat where you are from, so we know where everybody is from in here, and we will begin shortly. Few more people joining on just now. All right, we have somebody from Anuvik. So if everybody else could just put in the chat real quickly where you are from, and we will begin in about 2 or 3 minutes. And if you have anybody else with you other than yourself, put their name in the group chat too so we know who's all here today. We have Aaliyah from Ketchikan. I'll just wait about a minute more to see if anybody else would join, and then we will start with today's lesson on communication. If you haven't got out your notebooks yet, be sure to take out your notebooks. We also have Maxon from Ketchikan as well. We have Anna from Homer. All right, I think that's all who's joining on for today. So we're gonna go ahead and start, and if people are gonna join later, they can go ahead and hop on later. Let's begin with our lesson. So welcome back to P7 training. As one more reminder, I would love to hear from you guys. I don't want to be the only one speaking here, so if you guys want to say something, go ahead and say something out loud or say it in the group chat, and let's begin. And if you have any questions too, feel free to stop me at any point. So today we are going to be learning about communication, which is really important, especially with a P7. So first we're going to start off by understanding what communication is based on ministry standpoint. So communication is a way of exchanging information like truth and grace that comes from God, aiming to connect people with God and each other, build a community, and advance the gospel. So today we're going to focus on talking about how can we create a communication with our P7 students? How can we create a communication with fellow P7 leaders? How can we have this good bond? Because in a P7 club, we need to have that good relationship with God, and then we need to have that good relationship with each other, because we shouldn't just be seeing our students in P7 and ignoring them after them, but how can we create this communication and this good relationship with our students and with our fellow peers? So we're going to look at that today, and it's also a good way of sharing the gospel with others. And if you also have anything that you experienced that really helped you with communication that I didn't point out today, feel free to share that as well, because I would love to hear what you guys use for a way of communicating with your students and other people. So communication is used for more than to reach people. It's also a way of building relationships. Communication is praying to God, reading our Bible every day. Communication is talking to people in the hallways. Communication is sitting and eating lunch with somebody, even when it's not a school day. Maybe you go out to dinner with them or something, or maybe you say, hey, on a Saturday, I would like to hang out with you or something and go get a coffee with them. That's what communication is. And communication is so much more. It's the foundation of building that relationship. So how do we build a relationship? And if you have any other ways you can think of how you would build a relationship with a friend or someone you know that worked, or a P7 student, that would be helpful if you share that too, because the forefront of starting a P7 club for those starting P7 clubs, and the forefront of continuing to grow your P7 club and get more people to come, is communication and building those relationships. So today is going to be really focused on how do we build those relationships? How do we get close to people, to that area where we can be honest with them and tell them, you know what, there's a God who can save you from your anxiety, your depression, your family issues, anything bad you're dealing with. I know a God who can save you. But how do we get to that area where we can get so close to people where they will actually listen to us about this stuff? So let's get into that. First of all, as you walk in the hallways at school, talk to people, get to know them. Don't just walk up to people and say, hey, come to my P7 club, because that's kind of scary to people, just walking up to them and saying, hey, you should come to this. But get to know them first. Say, hey, how's your day going? Tell me about your weekend. What did you do? Did you do anything exciting? Are you part of the basketball team? Maybe you're part of a band. But get to know them personally. And once you have that good, solid relationship, which does take a while, usually most relationships take a while. Once you have a good, solid friendship, then if they mention a family issue, an addiction they have, if they mention anxiety or depression, you can say, I have a God who can help fix those problems. But get to know people, first of all. Then ask them questions that are long responses. Like, instead of saying, hey, how's your weekend? Say, tell me about your weekend. What did you do this weekend? Or if you notice they're gone for a long time, instead of saying, hey, what have you been up to? Say, hey, tell me about everything you've been doing lately. And if they mention something like, oh, I'm a part of a basketball team, then in the next conversation you have with them, be like, oh, how's your basketball team doing? Or if they say, hey, I'm a part of a band, hey, how's that band going? Or if they mention any kind of other club or anything, say, hey, how's this going? Tell me all about it. What have you been enjoying about it? Like, I have friends, they're into art. They've been really working on their art lately. I say, hey, how's that art piece coming along for you? And then they get really excited when I remember something about them. Or maybe they tell me all about their cat or their dog or their chinchilla or their guinea pig or whatever that they really like, then the next day I'll be like, hey, how's your guinea pig doing? How's your cat doing? It means a lot to a person when you remember what they say to you, because there's nothing better than somebody remembering what was told to them prior, because it just means so much. You're just so touched when someone remembers something about you. And I'm sure a few people could speak to how much it means to them when somebody else remembers something about you. Maybe you told somebody about your favorite food and they remember that and they're like, hey, have you tried anything new lately? And getting to create that relationship is a big part of remembering what they did and asking those long-ended questions, and not be like the people of this world that just talk about themselves, just go, oh, I've been doing this and this and this, but listening to what the other person's saying, wanting to know more about the other person rather than telling them about yourself. Ask them to tell you a lot about themselves, and that will mean a lot to the person. So listen to what they tell you about their day or about things they've been doing lately. Maybe they're like, oh, I have this trip coming up for school that I'm super excited about. And then when they come back from it, say, hey, tell me about your trip. And what other things they have been up to. Maybe they really like basketball. Maybe they really like volleyball. Ask them, hey, how's your sports going? Or maybe they really like band, or maybe they like chess club. Go up to them and say, hey, how's your chess club going? Or maybe they have a dance club they really like. Say, hey, how's your dance club going? Constantly checking with them and saying, hey, how's that going? And then talking about it with them and building that relationship and that connection. And if you both like something, like for example, I'm a part of a band group at my school, and I have many friends from that band group. I connect with them based on that shared connection of both loving band. So we always talk about band all the time because it's our favorite thing. And then people who play sports, I constantly ask them, even when they come into P7 meetings, I constantly ask them, hey, how'd your basketball game go? Hey, how'd your volleyball game go? Or I say, hey, how's your weekend been? Tell me all about your weekend. Tell me what you've done. Stuff like that means a lot to people. And then number three, remember what they told you. So I'm going to give two scenarios here, and I want you guys to write these down if you can. So example one, if they tell you about a band group they are a part of, later ask, hey, how's your band going? What have you guys been up to? And then when they tell you about something exciting, maybe they're preparing for a concert, being like, oh, I'm gonna put it in my head and remind myself to ask them how that concert went, or I'm gonna go to their concert. For example, I have this friend, um, for the sake of privacy, we'll name her Kate. Her actual name isn't Kate, but we'll name her Kate for now. My friend Kate, she is a part of the Yukon Art Center where they do plays and stuff. So what I did is I was telling her about my band thing, and then she told me about her play. I said, okay, I'm gonna go buy the ticket, and I went. So I went as a part of ministry to reach her and to be there for her and to be her friend. And then afterwards, I came up to her and said, oh, you did really great. And then I asked her what her next performance was, and that's how we build that connection, is through her acting and through her performances and stuff, and me constantly asking about it because it means a lot to her. Example two, if they tell you about a sport or game they have coming up, ask them later, hey, how's your sport going? How's your basketball going for you? Or say, hey, how'd that game win? Did you guys win? And then being supportive if they won or didn't win, and always being there for them, being that supportive, caring friend. It means a lot to people when you remember things they tell you. Just like for yourself, if someone remembers something you told them, it means a lot to you. Everybody cares about if you remember things if they tell you or not. The next thing is we're going to talk about P7 meetings. It's important to start your P7 meetings with some conversations and some communication because that is so important. It means so much to people when you don't just feel about what you know, but it's also important you pay attention to their life and show them godly love. So ways of doing this is having games where people have to talk to each other and get to know each other. Have a get to know you bingo where you have a bunch of random facts about people and they learn that about each other and they get to know each other. Start your P7 meetings with talking to students. Example one. Welcome to P7, everyone. Let's start off with talking about how our day is going. Anyone want to start? That's the first example of how to do it. Or you could start saying how your day was and then go around the room. Example two, as people walk in, talk with them. Hey, how's your day going? Hey, how did your game go last week? For example, I'm not going to try and give real names of my students. I'll name one John. So John walks in the room. He's having a rough day. And then suddenly I go give him a big smile and say, hey, John, it's so good to see you. Give me a high five. I'm happy to see you at P7 today. And suddenly, just that, hey, how's your day going, made him feel so much better. Because sometimes to make someone's day, all they need is to see a smile. So P7 ladies, whenever you're walking around your school hallways, I challenge you to walk around your school with a smile, talking to everybody you can, saying, hey, it's so good to see you. I hope you have a lovely day. Because just that can make somebody's day so much better. So be friendly with everyone. And don't just talk to P7 students in P7 meetings because then that's not a real connection. That's not a real relationship if you just talk to someone once a week. For example, if you were married to someone, now I know no one here that I know of is married at the moment, but if you're married to someone or have a boyfriend, which some of you may have, or a girlfriend, it's not a good relationship if you just talk to them once a week, right? Because then you just have a terrible relationship of just saying, "Hey, how you doing?" And then you don't really know much about each other. You need to show love to one each other. You have to have a good communication, good relationship. So talk to P7 students as you see them in the hallways. Give them high five. Say, "Hey, I'm proud of you. You're doing awesome. Really working hard." I'm like, "How's your day going? How you doing? Tell me about your weekend." Stuff like that is very important. Now we're going to talk about a few last things that are important to know about communication. Always be an active listener. Always be willing to be listening to what others are saying and remember what they are saying. Have empathy towards others. When someone's telling you they're going through a hard time, being like, "I understand you. I get what you're going through. Do you need help going through this? Do you need to talk to me privately and we can have a private conversation about this?" And show others you're listening, but with non-verbal cues. For example, if someone's telling me about their day and talking to me about something and I'm like, oh, looking over here like my own world, does it feel like I'm listening to you? Or if you're talking to me and I'm like sitting there like this, no, 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 no. Does that look like I'm listening? Or if you're standing there like this, does it look like you really want to be in that conversation? When someone's talking to you, have a smile on your face, be super happy, and like nod your head when you agree with stuff and respond to what they're saying to you. Say, like, "Yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, I understand." Have a good conversation. Be friends with each other. All right, now that's it for today's lesson. I know that was a bit of a lengthy lesson because communication is such a big, important thing. So I want you guys to all write this down in your calendar. And if there are any issues with it, as I am going through the announcements for the next P7 training, please let me know. Or if it does work for you, please give a thumbs up in the chat bar as I go through our announcements. I want all of you guys to do that. So I'm going to go through announcements and I will be waiting for the responses before we move on to questions before all that. So let's go through announcements. Our next P7 training is February 7th at 3:15 Alaska time and 5:15 Yukon time. We will be learning how to bring up homosexuality and transgender, because we know that stuff is against the Bible, but we need to talk about how to bring it up in love and caringness towards those people and how to deal with people who are homosexualities or transgender. Also, I would love it if all P7 leaders please send me P7 photos and videos for the social media posts, because I do need to get some more social media posts out there. So please send me P7 videos and photos. And this is really important for all you P7 leaders to write down, or youth pastors. January's P7 updates are due this week, so make sure to get that ready. I will be sending out a message to everyone on Monday. So messages are coming out Monday for P7 updates. I'm looking forward to hearing amazing updates. I've already been hearing this week that somebody else has been called to start a P7 club. And we're also getting one started in Sitka very soon, and a bunch of other places. Anchorage, we're going to have a second one there. It's super amazing. We're going to see P7 clubs grow, and we had a few people from Fairbanks also sign up to do P7 clubs, so we are super excited. So please send those photos and videos for social media so I can get P7 more out there. And make sure you get your updates ready for the update for January. And that is all my announcements. Really quickly before we get into questions, does the next training on February 7th at 3:15 p.m. work for everyone? I know it's only like 2 weeks away from the training. Usually I don't try and do trainings too close, but due to PK retreat and all that stuff, I had to do it at this day because that's what worked best. So does that work for everyone? Tell me, and then we will get on with questions. So the sooner everyone responds, the sooner we can move on. I will be waiting. All right, I heard from one person that it works for them. Does it work for everybody else here? I heard from one other person that it should possibly work for them. Just waiting for one other person to respond. And once again, I'd like to thank you all for joining us for this meeting today. I really appreciate you guys making time for this. Okay. And for those who may not be able to make it, we will also have the meetings on YouTube. So if you do end up missing that one, it will be still online for you able to see it. Because unfortunately that day I can't really move around due to a bunch of stuff happening that month. All right, I think I heard from everybody. So now we're going to move on to questions, testimonies, or concerns. So does anyone have any questions or testimonies or anything they would like to share? Go ahead and put it in the chat bar. And if you have nothing you'd like to share or no questions you have, just put a thumbs up or say you're good. So I'll just wait a few moments for everyone to respond, and then once we get all our questions answered or concerns or testimonies shared, then we will end today's meeting. So we are almost done here. So just let me know. All right, I heard that one person's all good. Is everybody else all good, or do you have any questions or concerns or anything you'd like to share? And if you want to ask questions privately that you don't feel comfortable sharing out in the group, you can also text me too, and I will answer them to everybody. I just won't say who it's from. All right, I heard from another person they're all good. I'm waiting for one more person, I believe. All right, everyone's all good. Thank you all for joining today. I hope you guys all have a blessed and wonderful day. I will see you during our next P7 training on February 7th. All right. You guys are awesome. I'm proud of each and every one of you P7 leaders. Have a great week, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.